Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 125. Wow, what a night we had last night for the Republican Party. Andrew Bing is joining us here tonight. It was a great night for Republicans. I mean, there's so much to get into on tonight's show. I mean, the NFL, there's so much going on in the NFL. The trade with Marshawn Lattimore to the Washington Commanders. The college football with the first college football playoff rankings coming out last night. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris going up and at it. Donald Trump winning the election 277 to 226. The Kamala Harris conceding earlier today. Some college football, some NFL, a little bit of pop culture. But man, let's get into it. It's a pleasure to have Andrew Bing join us on the podcast tonight. We appreciate you coming on. Just want to let everyone know that Andrew and I will be debating some politics throughout the episode. We are friends. We are both mature about it. We've discussed this off air. Things happen. I don't hate Andrew because he's a Democrat. Andrew doesn't hate me because I'm a Republican. We disagree on certain views. We disagree on certain things on sports. At the end of the day, it's just one candidate versus the other. It's just two people having a conversation. So without further ado, let's get into it. What do you want to start off with? Do you want to start off with the NFL? Do you want to start off with the political conversation with Harris and Trump? You want to knock that off? What do you want to do? You tell me. We'll get rolling.
My motto, I like to start with the good, bad, and then end with good notes. So I think we should do like sports first, and then maybe politics.
Let's do. All right. So we'll do NFL. So I mean, there's so much to get into with the NFL. I mean, a lot of good games this past weekend. Let's get to the first one here. I mean, let's just start off with a bang, right? I saw a report that could the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons? I don't know why I saw this, and I don't even know why this would even be coming up, because the Cowboys should be wanting to build around Micah Parsons. I know they're 3-5 right now, and Dak Prescott's hurt, but there is no reason why they should trade Micah Parsons. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think there's any reason they should trade Micah Parsons either, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like if anybody should be on trade notice, it should be Trayvon Diggs, to be honest, because I feel like Trayvon Diggs, he was an outstanding player for what it was, but he gives me Xavier Howard vibes. Like Xavier Howard, he had that season where he led the league in picks, and then after that he kind of fell off due to injuries. But it's like and it's similar to the Dolphins had a similar situation that the Cowboys have right now, that 1-2 punch. They had Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, which Byron Jones was getting paid more than Xavier Howard, but Xavier Howard was performing better. And then it's like, and then you got Trayvon Diggs, and then you have Darren Bland, who showed out last year. And
well, he's hurt right now too.
Yeah, but it's like they even before that, like they tried working Stephon Gilmore next to Trayvon Diggs, and they were trying to see if that would have worked out. And some Cowboys fans were hoping for a big splash, like they wanted Jalen Ramsey, or they wanted Derrick Henry, or they wanted I think there's another.
They wanted Derrick Henry, but I want to go back to the Micah Parsons thing here, Bing. The Cowboys should not trade Micah Parsons. That would make zero sense. You're trying to build around Micah Parsons for the future. I know they have a lot of contracts right now with Dak Prescott on the books. They have Trevon Diggs they've paid. DeMarcus Lawrence is on the books as well. But to sit here and say Micah Parsons should be traded, that's absolutely insane. I know it feels like that's clickbaiting and it's like engagement farming, but no, the Cowboys should not trade Micah Parsons. I think that Micah Parsons is arguably the best defensive player in the NFL next to TJ Watt. So you should be wanting to build around a guy like that. And at this point, to trade Jerry Jones, there's no way he trades Micah Parsons. But this is an NFL one here, though. I have this one here on my list here. Nick Bosa will get fined for his MAGA hat that he wore in the Niners game. What did you think of that?
I mean, I think it's just a time and place. Like, I don't feel like you should get fined for your beliefs or political beliefs. But the thing is that doing that right before the election, like you're kind of trying to use your popularity to get people
asking for
on your
it.
side.
Yeah.
And it's like if you wanted to endorse like beforehand and stuff and make that known, then okay. But like out of the blue doing that, like you're gonna lose respect. Like I'm sure. Like we're not even getting into politics yet, but I'm sure like a lot of people I've been seeing on my people's notes, like they're like, if you are going for Trump or you're a Trump supporter, you voted for Trump, like unfollow me or or take me off your phone. Like, I think a lot of people lost phone off the election.
I've been dealing with that all day today. But no, second here on Nick Bosa, will he get fined for his MAGA hat? I think Nick Bosa, I'm a Trump supporter, and I think Nick Bosa should 100% get fined for that hat. There's a time and a place where you wear what you're supposed to wear. You're working a job. Let's bring it to the 9-to-5 corporate life or just a regular job. You don't wear a political hat to work. You don't wear anything like that. It's not appropriate. So in that situation there, yes, Nick Bosa should be fined for wearing that hat. He shouldn't be suspended or anything like that. But in this situation here, you can't do this. I know he's, trying to, boost his platform, but yeah, no, you can't wear a MAGA hat in this situation here. And, he should be fined for it 100%. It's a time and a place, like you said, and no, he should not be wearing that hat. And a lot of people, agree with that on that one there. You're a Democrat, I'm a Republican. In that situation there, no, you don't show up to your job wearing a Trump hat or a Trump t-shirt. Unless your boss says it's okay, but it's a total different situation. It's the NFL. It's on a total different light. But how about this one here? Let's talk about the NFL MVP conversation. I know you're a big Commanders fan and you've got Jaden Daniels. I think the NFL MVP right now is down to right now, it could change week to week. It's the NFL, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Out of those two guys, who do you think should win the MVP? If the race were to end today, who should win the NFL MVP?
Oh,
don't you dare say Jaden Daniels.
No. I'm not saying Jaden Daniels. But I'm just saying that I feel like I don't think it's between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Like, I think there's a lot of other candidates in this race.
All right, give me your top 5 NFL MVP candidates right now.
Okay, so you got to put Mahomes in there. I don't care what they're doing right now, but it's like, look at the record, and Mahomes is a winner. Look at Mahomes; right. He was dealing with injuries last game and the game before that, and he still
even though you don't like DeAndre Hopkins. Go ahead.
But it's like he played pivotal parts. So I would say that. I would say Josh Allen. I would say Lamar Jackson. I would say I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jared Goff, to be honest.
Okay, that's 3 right there. Okay.
4. I said Josh Allen and Lamar and Patrick Mahomes.
You said Josh Allen, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, and you said Jared Goff. You got one more. You're missing one guy.
I think, I
think there's one guy you're missing.
I mean, I'm not gonna say Jaden Daniels because
Joe Burrow.
No, Joe.
Oh,
the Bengals.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The Bengals
okay.
defense. The Bengals defense. Yeah, I'm talking about quarterback, like how they've been playing. Honestly, yeah, you could definitely have to put Burrow there.
I mean, yeah. If we're not going off of how the teams are performing, then okay, you could put Burrow. But
I mean, yeah, his defense has been atrocious. Oh, you're saying off of who's been performing?
Yeah, like performing on good teams. Like, I was trying to put good teams up there. Like, I was gonna Sam Darnold used to be up there.
Right. I'm gonna sneak one in for you. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry deserves to be in the MVP conversation. Look what he's done this entire season. If Derrick Henry keeps this up, we know it's a quarterback award. Obviously, quarterback's the most important position. However, if he keeps this up, he would be the first running back since Adrian Peterson to win the NFL MVP. I don't think he will. And will Lamar Jackson get his back-to-back MVPs because he won the MVP last year?
And I will say,
Wait. Yes, he did, right? Yes, he did. I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes won it the year before. Lamar Jackson won it last year. Okay, so he would. I don't know though, man. It could. Josh Allen's right there as well. Like I said, right now in the NFL, I think Josh Allen's been the MVP. I mean, he's played spectacular football all season long. And you know what, too? I think being here in 2 weeks, because the Chiefs, I don't know who the Chiefs don't play the Bills this week, but in 2 weeks here, I'm pretty sure the Chiefs play the Bills. Josh Allen will be able to prove himself and showcase between him and Mahomes on the world stage on a national level that if he outperforms Mahomes and you go back at the end of the season and you look at from that game, it's going to be crucial because he's played spectacular all year long. So Josh Allen is the NFL MVP at this point right now. I know Lamar Jackson has been spectacular as well, but I got to go with Josh Allen.
Well, I will say someone that Josh Allen's very impressive, especially the fact that he's doing this without Stephon Diggs and being in the situation he's in. But someone I will say that impresses me, not as much as him, but I've always been a fan of him, and I feel like he needs some benefit of the doubt. He needs some recognition. Is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert losing all his weapons, and I mean, last week I don't know if he was first in passing yards, but he was like up there. He was like top 3 for passing yards, and he's been someone that's been able to keep this as a winning team. Like him and J.K. Dobbins, I feel like are the reasons they're winning. Like
You
people
love
say,
you love Justin Herbert. I love Justin Herbert too. I love Justin Herbert too, but I don't know about MVP conversation. I know he's been good, but I don't know if I could put him in the MVP conversation. He'd be like the second guy or third guy out, kind of like how in college football right now you got A&M and SMU are the first two teams out. So I wouldn't be able to put Herbert in that conversation. However, things could change, but I don't see that. Let's move on to some notable trades from this past week. I mean, obviously Devontae Adams to the Jets, Hopkins to the Chiefs, even though I know you're not a fan of that one. Deontay Johnson from the Panthers to the Ravens, Amari Cooper to the Bills. Or we saw these trades earlier. Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders. We're going to talk about that. Mike Williams from the Jets to the Steelers. Za'Darius Smith from the Browns to the Lions. And then your Preston Smith from the Packers to the Steelers. But let's hone in on this one here. Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders. You're a Commanders fan. How are you feeling about Marshawn Lattimore?
Hey man, I'm very happy. This was the moment. Like we need a CB1. I don't care if he's on injury or whatever. He's gonna pass his physical, and then when he gets on the Commanders, he's gonna be someone that it's like he runs man. Like that's exactly what we need. We need to turn.
Right.
Every time we play zone, we play terrible. So we need to run as a man defense, and then this is gonna be where we reevaluate the DBs because I mean I think Mike is good. I think Lattimore's good. I feel like St. Juice, he has his on and off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think St. Juice, he got his on and off moments. And then it's like after that, like Forbes, I don't like Forbes. I feel like Forbes, he's gonna be gone.
I think he's on his way out. But yeah, like I said, I like Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders, and it's cool to see. This is your guys' first 6-2 season since what is it, like somewhere in like 1980s or something? They said. What, you know exactly what year it was?
I think it was in the it was like 70s, 80s, 90s.
When was the last? Was it 1978? Let's see. When was the last time the Commanders were 7-2? They were. What it was since they approved for the first time since 1996. Now they're 7-2. Okay, so they're 7-2 now. So 1996 is the first time. I wasn't born. You weren't born. But I mean, that's crazy to think about. I mean, wow. I want to break this one up here though. This is really an interesting one, actually. I don't know if I'm sure you saw this. I don't know if I sent it to you, but I don't know. The Lou Williams on Drake saying he'd take down a banner of DeMar DeRozan if it would put in the Raptors arena. What the hell is that all about? You're taking down a banner. DeMar DeRozan should have his jersey retired by the Raptors. He was a huge staple of that team with Kyle Lowry all those years. Drake's just being petty here. I know Drake's got a lot of petty songs out there because he could never really find a woman. However, in this situation here, I mean, that's just insane. I thought that was selfish. How is that selfish? Like I said, DeMar DeRozan was a staple for the Raptors all those years. I mean, that's just stupid. I want to hear your take.
Well, personally, I am a Drake fan. That's
I am too, but he's petty.
But the thing is, petty. It is. He is being childish and petty. Like it's like at this point, he just doesn't care at this point, obviously, because it's like he knows this is not going to get your this is not going to get his image back. Like this is just making him look worse. It looks like a crybaby. Like the fact that you got the Not Like Us from Kendrick Lamar, and then you got DeMar DeRozan being in it like that. That already gave him so much powers, and then now you're showing attention back to the song basically because that's the only reason he's having a problem. It's like one that he left the Raptors, second because of the song. Like it's a lot of petty stuff, and it's like he needs to move forward. Like I heard he's going to be doing the World Cup. Like you should be focused on that.
Who, Drake?
Yeah.
Oh, just sticking here on this though. I mean, I think it's just petty and selfish. DeMar DeRozan, I think he's a Hall of Famer for sure, right? I would say in the NBA, wouldn't you?
Hall of Famer.
Is he not? Does he
DeMar
not?
DeRozan, no.
Is he? I mean, but remember, you have to remember how the NBA does it. They do off of the whole scale, like world scale too. Do you think DeMar DeRozan's a Hall of Famer? Do you think he is?
I mean, I feel like he's borderline. He's jersey retired by the Raptors. Maybe he should.
Does he have an Olympic gold medal, DeMar DeRozan? I think he does.
I mean,
does he? I mean, because does he have a gold medal? Let's see. Yes, he has one. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Famer. You got an Olympic gold medal. That's a huge thing in the NBA. Luka Doncic is already an already an NBA Hall of Famer. He won 3 championships with Real Madrid when he was young. Obviously, Luka's a lot better than DeMar DeRozan, but he's got a gold medal. That's a big deal, right?
I mean, I don't
Who do
even
you
know about that.
who do you think DeMar DeRozan is in the category to get into the Hall of Fame? Is Kyle Lowry a Hall of Famer?
I think Kyle Lowry has more of a resume than DeMar DeRozan. I mean, with the ring he got, like him and Kawhi.
Is Jimmy Butler a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a conversation that has to be brought up because he's got a ring. He's got a gold medal.
I think he's in the category with like Devin Booker.
Oh, Devin Booker already?
Devin Booker. I'm not talking about like.
He's not there yet. He's still got to continue to play. Oh,
yeah,
you're saying
I'm talking about like they're in the same position. Like they both didn't win a ring. They're scoring guards. Well, like they're both.
Well, Booker's a lot younger. Let's bring this one. Is Paul George a Hall of Famer?
Paul George.
Yes.
He did more than. Like,
is DeMar DeRozan in that same category? Could you put those side by side and say DeRozan, Paul George?
I don't think so. Paul George, like you really got to look at his transition in the NBA from the Pacers to being on the Clippers, and then
let me ask you this: do you think DeMar DeRozan would have won a ring? Do you think DeMar DeRozan, if he was on that Raptors team, do you think he would have led him to a championship if he was on the team instead of Kawhi Leonard?
No, I don't think so. I think Kawhi's a game changer. He's a superstar. I feel like his level is DeMar's all-star. Kawhi's a superstar.
Is Kawhi a top 5 small forward of all time?
He's definitely top 10. Top 5 debatable. It's like
Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Larry Bird.
You got
KD, you got LeBron, you got Larry Bird, you got who else is there? Giannis, Kawhi. Who else? I mean, there's a lot of other old guys. I mean, Scottie Pippen. Oh, duh, Scottie Pippen. That's another. Elgin Baylor, Dominique Wilkins. Is Kawhi better than Dominique Wilkins? No, he's a point guard. Is he? Yeah. So, I mean, I love it. Let's go back to the NFL here, though. I mean, there were some good games this past weekend. We're gonna go to my Patriots-Titans game. 20-17. Did you see that Drake May touchdown at the end of the game? That miraculous touchdown. That miraculous touchdown. Oh my! Oh, of course I was. That miraculous Drake May touchdown, dude. I was running back and forth in my friend's living room. I was like, "There's no way. I'm like, throw it, get rid of the ball, dude." I was so upset in overtime. It was like our defense has not performed this year, but man, Drake May is a special player. And honestly, I think from what I've seen so far, what we've seen with Caleb Williams, May and Daniels, or 1, 2, and 3, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May, I think all three teams hit on their home runs. I think that those were no-brainer picks. I mean, May, their offensive line is terrible. He's played really well for what he's been able to do. And actually, I have some stats here with Drake May. He's the first quarterback in his first 4 career starts with 700 passing yards, 60% completion, 6 passing touchdowns, 200 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. He accounted for 95% of the Patriots' offense against the Titans. That's insane. 95%. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I thought he became the first player in team history with 200 passing yards, 90 plus rushing yards in the game since 1964. I mean, the Patriots need to get him some help. And if the Patriots are smart, they will not draft Travis Hunter. They will get Drake May a tackle. I know Travis Hunter's a special player, Bing, but I don't think it'd be smart for them to draft because they have no offensive line. It's really bad as it is. You're going to have a lot of money in free agency. I think the best decision would be for them to draft a home run tackle from a big school, cough, cough, SEC, and then you go find a receiver in free agency or something, because I think that's what they need to do.
I feel like, to be honest, they need a receiver also. Like they need to give him some weapons.
Yeah, but who's gonna block for Drake May? If you can't throw him the ball, what are you gonna do?
That's true.
You're a Chargers guy. Look what they went out and did for Justin Herbert this offseason. They went and drafted Joe Alt at 6. Everyone wanted them to draft Malik Neighbors, and they went and drafted Joe Alt. And they have Rashawn Slater on the other side. So you pair those 2 tackles right there. That's a home run right there. Justin Herbert's not sitting on his ass every single play.
But you got to see, take the Commanders, for example. The Commanders had the worst O-line in the league. And then they didn't make that much of a difference until late in the draft to get some O-linemen. And the whole
Yeah.
team like transition because all the weapons that Jaden Daniels has, Jaden Daniels mobility, like it's like sometimes you got to adjust just based off of the team skill that you have. Like when you have all these skill positions and all these,
Mhm.
it's off of a play style. I mean, I feel like Drake May, if
Yeah.
he can pull off plays like that and he has a star receiver, like just give him at least 5 seconds and he's pulling off a good play.
Give him some time, but the Patriots arguably have the worst offensive line in the NFL this year. So, I mean, you're going to either, I don't, see, the thing is, we've had this conversation about Travis Hunter. You're going to play him at receiver. You're going to play him at corner. I mean, if the Patriots even get the number 1 pick, because I'm sure Travis Hunter will go 1. But let's move on to this one here, though. Lions' Brian Branch was ejected for his helmet-to-helmet hit on Bo Melton against the Packers on Sunday. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was a bad.
That was not, so I don't think he should have been ejected. However, yes, that was a flag. I totally understand that. But to be ejected, I think I saw he flipped the bird at the crowd or something. But I don't understand. Like, this is football. Like, he didn't leave his feet. I don't understand the ejection there. I think that was a really big call in that situation. No, Brian Branch should have not been ejected there. I mean, I don't think he should have been ejected at that point there. I thought it was really soft, if you ask me. 15-yard penalty, sure, but to be ejected. And then to follow up with that, Tom Brady voiced his opinion, and they said he was going to get in trouble because he said that Brady may have stepped over the line. I don't love that call, Brady said. I mean, it's obviously a penalty, but to me, there has to be serious intent in a game like this. So the NFL came back and said Tom Brady will not be getting in trouble for that because the whole minority owner thing and owners can't talk this and say that he's walking a thin line. But that is not an ejection worthy type play.
You know what this play? It reminds me of one of my teams.
Which one?
I'm very upset about what happened, which is the Saints and Derek Carr and Chris Olave.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, how do you feel about that with Derek Carr? The Saints actually fired their head coach.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of agree with what Michael Thomas is saying. Like Derek Carr, I've been seeing it. Derek Carr, he does seem like he's nervous when he's throwing the ball. Like it's like, and it's like he's not put in a position where it's like catchable. It's like he's expecting the receivers to do the work for him. And it's like I feel like Derek Carr, he needs to work on that and he needs to take some accountability. Like he's like I get Michael Thomas has just like targeted him ever since he's left the team. But it's like at the same time, it's like you got to take some accountability for your actions. Like it's like Chris and it's like it's really the offensive coordinator needs to take some accountability too because there's no reason
Carmichael?
why Chris Olave should be having a concussion 2 weeks before with Spencer Rattler and then having another concussion with Derek Carr. Like this is like that. This is hospital place. Like you got to be take care of your players.
All right, so let's bring this one up here. I'm sure you saw this over the weekend. Jason Kelsey breaks the silence on his Travis and Taylor Swift phone smash after the police launched the investigation. I'm sure you saw that, right? He smashed the phone. So I'm going to give my opinion here, and you can give yours. So Jason Kelsey, right? He's walking in the crowd, and somebody calls his brother, the FAGGOT word. We're not going to say it on stream. However, anyways, so that happens, right? If you're put in that situation, I understand you're now a celebrity because your brother Travis Kelsey is dating Taylor Swift. I would have done the same thing for my brother. You're not going to call my brother those words and try to humiliate him in that situation. I know he should have been a better person and he apologized for it. And you got to be better because, fans and, trolls on the internet are going to try to get under your skin, but you're protecting your brother there. And I would have done the exact same thing. I really don't think he did anything wrong. And, that kid should have never said that and gotten in his face like that. And that kid's lucky that Jason Kelsey didn't clock him in the face. However, anyways, I mean, it was just really interesting to see that happened. And Jason Kelsey apologized on air. And then the Swifties were mad because Jason Kelsey shouldn't be doing that or whatever. And then I saw a thing where Taylor Swift and Jason Kelsey were like, she wasn't mad at him afterwards at the game because for Monday night against the Chiefs. But I think that's stupid in that situation. No, look, listen, accountability is key. Should he have done that? No. But in that situation there, it's like fight or flight, I feel like. I mean, I don't know. I just would stick up for my family member as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like stick up to agree though. Like you gotta I get where Travis and Taylor Swift are coming from because in the Swift family and Kelsey family, because like the fact is that you're at a certain level in standard that you're like an established person, like you're basically a celebrity at this point, and it's like you can't let fans just like show that things get to you because then they're gonna continue to do it. Like there's gonna be other people that are gonna do that or worse, or try to
Yeah,
disrespect your family more. Like this is like you could say this is setting an example to not play with y'all, but it's like
right.
what they're fans at the end of the day. Like they want the attention. They
Yep.
breathe off of this attention. So it's like if they see they can get a reaction out of you, they're gonna do that any time of the day because then they basically getting famous off of your name.
So do you think ESPN should reprimand Jason Kelsey, or do you think he should be in trouble? But like, do you think he should be like get in trouble by the police or like ESPN, or do you think like they should just wash it under the rug and like just let it go? What do you think?
I feel like ESPN should be the one that does something because it's like that you don't want the police to get involved because that's gonna be very bad for
Right.
them. And I don't and it's like the only reason the police would get involved is if that person that did the whole
Press
situation is really
charges.
money
Right.
hungry and they're gonna sue them.
Right.
Yeah. Like
For a
but like
phone, they didn't like all he did was break his phone. He didn't physically assault him or anything. He just hit his phone. He just
yes.
knocked the phone out of his hand. So really, I really wouldn't put too much stock into this. I mean, people make mistakes in this world. He didn't like physically touch him. He didn't push him or anything. He just knocked the phone out of his hand. I understand it's his in the guy's possession or whatever. But when you're getting in somebody's face like that, it's fair game. If you're gonna get in my face like that with my phone like this, or you're harassing somebody, you have to expect the worst in that situation. He didn't put his hands on him. He just smacked the phone out of his hand. But hey, man,
And,
sometimes
and if
that's
the phone's
that's
that
the way it
big
goes.
and if the phone's that big of a deal, like come on, Jason Kelsey could just buy you another phone if you really need
Right. If a phone is that big of a deal, but hey, that kid learned his lesson. Next time he probably won't do that. I can guarantee you that. But the NBA here, this is another one here. Joel Embiid shoves reporter during the locker room altercation incident being investigated by the NBA. So this was beforehand. Joel Embiid is suspended for 3 games. But what did you think of that? I mean, I thought that was really crazy.
I mean, I'm honestly I feel like I feel like it's crazy, but I feel like Joel's going through something because like because
Yeah.
because I did see some article. I sent it to my friend that's a Philly fan.
Yep.
That basically it was saying that Joel like he feels betrayed by the fans and the
Mhm.
media and like everybody like the Philly nation because like the fact that he's making a decision where he feels like he doesn't have to play every game. Like I think we had this discussion like playing every other game and stuff. Like he feels like it's a betrayal. Like he feels like he's done so much for this franchise, being an MVP, taking him. I
Yep.
mean, yes, he hasn't made it to a conference finals yet, but he still is making Philly basketball watchable. Like he's still making them competitive. Like he's a high seed every year. Like some
Mhm.
regular season players don't even reach the calibers that he's reaching. Like you winning an MVP just right there, like that takes like a lot to do. So it's like
Yeah.
he's obviously been impressive, and he's set records for the Sixers, and he's looked like one of the most dominant bigs we've had
Mhm.
in our in or at least in my generation. And
Yeah,
so
he's
it's like
definitely right there for sure. No, I'm with you 100%. But I want to go back to this one here. We're going to go back to the NFL here briefly with the Kansas City Chiefs at the NFL. Like, do you think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL? They're 17-0. They're 8-0 right now. I know they haven't played their best football. I know you're a Mahomes guy. You like him, but this situation. They just played the Bucks on Monday night and they prevailed again. And everyone's like refs versus the Chiefs. The refs are in the Chiefs' pockets. Like they're not playing that good and they haven't really run into a real team. Well, we're going to see in 2 weeks. But I mean, I think. I mean, from the thread I saw this on Twitter. I didn't send this to you, but there was a thread I saw. I mean, some of these calls are blatant that the Chiefs or the refs have missed on the Chiefs. So, I mean, are the Chiefs overrated? Are they as good as they're put out to be? I mean, they're winning these close games, but it seems like the refs are in their back pocket. What do you think?
well, I was gonna say, speaking on that, I mean, I
Yeah.
saw it firsthand on Monday Night Football when they had the false start and they didn't call it.
Oh,
Like
Jawan
when
Taylor. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of thing here. We had this conversation about the face mask with Sam Darnold on the podcast last week. Andrew, in these types of situation, you have to call these flags. You cannot let a team slip away with these calls. I think you need to make sure that these calls should be reviewed, like how before they used to review the pass interference with the Saints and that NFC. It was that controversial NFC Championship with the Saints and the
the
Rams. There was
Rams,
like it was like Nicole Roby Coleman. I think this was the 2019 NFC Championship going back there because that was Drew Brees and that was Jared Goff. Anyways, okay, sticking on here on the Chiefs though. They've had blatant penalties all season long. You have to call these penalties like fair and square because it's not fair to the other team if you're not going to call a flag on Juwan Taylor. If he's offsides, the refs need to the refs need to blow the whistle, make the call, beep, blow the whistle, or actually for next season, they should be reviewed. They should make sure these calls are reviewed because some of these calls are deciding the outcome of a game. And I hate to say that one play decides the outcome of a game, but from what we've seen so far, this metric scale and how the Chiefs have been playing, everything has been coming down to the late in the fourth quarter, a last drive, if they're going to overtime, you know?
Yeah, like I mean, I definitely. It's like also the fact the referees they gotta be on their toes because overtime. Like this is a game
Yeah.
ending decision. Like this is like moments like this is why rules get changed or things happen because
Yes.
like we saw the Bills and Chiefs like because of what happened in their game like had to change the rules to where both teams contested the ball and that's only for the playoffs. But maybe they need
Yep.
to do that for the regular season also because when you have
Mm-hmm.
situations like this, these losses can cost teams. Like it's like the Bucks. This is the Bucks to me. Bucks, and it's not just because they beat the Commanders, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like they have been a impressive team to me this year. Like I feel like their record does not resemble like really their team, and I feel like
Yeah.
it also plays a part that they don't have Mike Evans, they don't have Chris Godwin, like they're missing key factors.
Yep.
They have. I heard a statistic like in one of the games I was watching that they said the Bucks. I think it was when they were playing the Ravens. They said they have the
Mm-hmm.
number one blitz defense in the league, and it's
Yeah,
like
their defense has been, or their secondary has been really bad. However, their offense has been good. Obviously, they're missing Chris Godwin and Mike Evans right now, but yeah, I mean they played the Chiefs, up until the wire. There, the Chiefs didn't play, their best brand of football, and they're still 8-0. That's the scary thing, and I've been telling everyone week in and week out, the Chiefs have not played their best brand of football. They're sitting at 8-0. Their defense is still playing lights out. They're missing a lot of key guys. I know Jalen Watson's out with an ankle injury now. Everyone was wondering if they were going to trade for a corner before the deadline was over. They don't have Hollywood Brown right now. They don't have Pacheco, so those two guys right there is huge, so, and if am I missing anyone else on the receivers there? I know they're missing Pacheco at running back. They're missing Hollywood Brown. Is that it? Yeah, I think
um
that's it, right? I think that's
I
it
think
because
they're also
Kelsey's,
missing.
yeah.
I mean, they're missing like lower down receivers like is Sky Moore playing or Kadarius Toney?
Yeah, he's not as good as he hasn't really panned out. However, but you know what I mean. But they picked up Hopkins too, so really, like the Chiefs have not played their best brand of football, and like I said, they've played. They just haven't played their best brand of football, and they're sitting at 8-0. But they're going to have a test here when they play the Bills here coming up. But I want to go back to the point you made with the NFL overtime. So the NFL overtime is different between the postseason and the regular season. So it's kind of like how in the NHL, where in the regular season you go to overtime and they have shootouts. In the NHL, in the NHL playoffs, they don't have shootouts. They just go straight to overtime. So I mean, I don't know. We've had this conversation. Should the NFL make the overtime rule the same like they do in the postseason compared to they do in the regular season? I think the NFL should leave it the way it is. But even better, I think the NFL should go to the college football overtime rules. What do you think? I would love that.
I would love that too, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's putting like that's risking injuries because it's like fatigue
Yeah.
plays a part. Like it's like
Right.
the longer the game is going, like I see in some of these games like they're like especially the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs are a team that they're usually their offense is the one that takes control. And
Mm-hmm.
if they're going against another offensive team, it's most likely going to overtime. And or if they're
Yep.
going against a good defensive team, like it's most likely going to overtime. And it's like and it gets exhausting. Like
Yeah.
imagine if you average like 3-4 overtimes a year and every time you had to play with the college football rules. Like that's gonna be
Yep.
very like they're not gonna make it to the playoffs. Like they're gonna be
Yeah.
they're gonna be
No,
tired.
I understand that completely. So it's like I get what the NFL is trying to do. They're trying to make sure the players don't get hurt. They don't want them to get fatigued. So they keep the postseason rules different than they do in the regular season. So I'm like kind of on the fence. I mean, it would be really cool to see college football overtime rules, but these guys get paid millions of dollars. They don't want Mahomes, their poster boy, getting hurt. They don't want Taylor Swift's boyfriend Travis Kelce getting hurt in the regular season because they need the Chiefs for the playoffs. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
And I was going to say also that I feel like
Uh-huh.
another problem is the fact that the reason they want to be able to do it is because they're adding more games to the regular season. Like it's making
That
it
is true.
already a longer season. Like
Yeah.
so it's a lot
Well,
to
let's
do.
talk about let's move to this one here. Sticking on the NFL. How about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys? He's caught on the sideline saying "We effing suck." I mean, it's just a comedy show. It's a week in and week out thing with the Cowboys. It's like Jerry's Circus. He's got his ringleaders around. He's the ringleader. He's got his crew around him, and they suck. yeah, Dak, the Cowboys suck. You were 100% right. But Dak, you're at the helm of the team. So this is on you, Dak. You got paid $60 million. The team is not that good. They have no run game. They have not been able to figure out their identity. Micah Parsons is out right now. DeMarcus Lawrence, Deron Bland, those three guys. Honestly, you know what I think the Cowboys should do when this season is over? I think they should blow it all up. I really do, because you're not winning anything. You're sitting at 3-5. Dak's going to be out a few weeks here. You paid him all this money. Or maybe you know what they do? They stick with the team they have, and they try to still figure out these contracts, and they try to go and draft Ashton Genty this offseason. But I think the Cowboys are a dumpster fire. And the best thing the Cowboys could do is tell Jerry Jones to shut his trap, because it's just like, I honestly don't understand this. Week in and week out, it's a circus. Ezekiel Elliott was a healthy scratch against the Falcons because he missed games. Ezekiel Elliott, I think the Cowboys should just tell him to pack it up and go home. I think it's time. You haven't done anything this season. We tried to bring you back. You haven't done jack squat. So I think they need to tell him to pack his bags, tell him to go back down to Cabo, to have him train and see, because at this point I think Zeke's done. I think he should just retire, because there's just really doesn't seem like there's any hope for Zeke left. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I feel like, Dak got a point, but it's like you can't. You're the most hated team, not even team, franchise in the world. I mean, like, you can say the Patriots, but come on, the Cowboys, like, it's the Cowboys.
Who do you think? Who do you think's a more hated franchise, the Cowboys or the Patriots?
I feel like franchise, because
the Cowboys,
Tom Brady. I was gonna say,
I've got to go. You think the Patriots are more hated than the Cowboys?
I know you're a Patriots fan, but it's like you got Tom Brady.
You think the Patriots are
because
over the Cowboys?
Everybody wanted to beat Tom Brady. The difference is people just want to see the Cowboys fail, but they actually want to beat Tom Brady. Like,
so do you think the Patriots are more hated than the Cowboys?
I feel like as a franchise, yes.
Oh, really? Wow. I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys. I mean, I don't. That's close. I think the Cowboys are more hated than the Patriots.
I mean, I think now, yeah, like everybody, because like, come on, like people weren't saying, oh, the Cowboys can't get out of the first round or second round. Like that's a modern day thing. Like back then, people were not.
Well, yeah, in the 80s and the 90s, in the 80s they were on a whole nother level. But I don't know. As a whole, I would say who do you think is more hated, the Celtics or the Lakers?
The Celtics. Like the people ride the Lakers. Like
that is true. Yep, that is true. Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with that.
Poster boys. You got Kobe. You got LeBron. You got Shaq. You got Magic. You got like everybody loves the Lakers. Like it's like the Celtics. Like I'm sure everybody. When the Celtics won the championship, Mickey Mouse ring, like they should not have the most rings in franchise.
Well, the Lakers won a Mickey Mouse, but according to everybody, the Lakers won a Mickey Mouse ring in COVID with the bubble.
Yeah, but the thing is that they still there's still people that are saying that that's the hardest ring. No one's saying the last ring that the Celtics won is the hardest ring. Like,
do you think the Lakers was the hardest ring to win?
I feel like
in the last 5 in the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years, I think it was second hardest.
What do you think the first hardest was?
I think the Bucks was the hardest because the fact they were losing 2-0 to the Suns.
And that's true. That's a 2019 one, right? Or 2020? No, 2021, right? Because that was the Suns versus the Bucks. Yeah.
2022 was the Warriors. And like, come on. The 2023 the Nuggets, no, and then 2024 the Celtics, no. So that's
what are you talking about? I think the 2018 Warriors against the Cavs was the hardest one.
I thought we were talking about from 2020.
I'm just messing with you. That was probably the easiest one ever. Let's talk about the MLB here briefly. The Dodgers and the Yankees. The Dodgers won the World Series. They won their 8th championship. Myself included, Yankees fans, we weren't too happy about it. But the main storyline of this World Series and this MLB playoffs is, could the Dodgers land Juan Soto? Will the Yankees be able to re-sign Juan Soto? Because if the Dodgers sign Juan Soto, I mean, it'll ruin baseball. Like I said, I will probably stop watching baseball. I don't think the Dodgers will get Juan Soto. I think he will go back to the Yankees. I know he said in his press conference or his thing at the game was over and the series was over that all 30 teams are available. I'm available to all 30 teams. I think he's just bluffing. I think he's wanting the Yankees to pay him more money, and I think he returns to the Yankees. What do you think?
I think that he will. I think he will return because like. He already. I mean, he left he left his original situation to go to the Yankees in the first place because he
got traded. He got traded.
Yeah, but it's like he got into a better situation, and I feel like that now. And yes, people felt like that he betrayed the fan base, but it's like, but the thing is that I think that definitely the Yankees invested in Soto, so I feel like they're gonna continue to do that. But something I want to speak about though,
go ahead.
is that I feel like I feel like my mom, she was talking to me about this like I think it was a couple weeks ago when the Ohio State was playing Nebraska. Like we were watching and then someone brought up baseball, like they were showing a commercial and then like my whole family, they were like, besides my dad because he watches, but like they were like, oh, we didn't know like the World Series was going on, like we thought it was still like we didn't know it started, like we haven't heard any media coverage, and I feel like it just got overshadowed because of the time. It's like when you have football going on, you have college football, you got basketball, you got hockey, like it's like a bunch of different sports going on at once, and it's
I don't know if you knew this, but the World Series, the I think it was one of the games, or the World Series is a total hit like 15.8 million viewers on one of the games or whatever. So like the World Series this year, like they hit all these numbers because I think of the Dodgers and the Yankees. However, if it was like the Brewers and like the Red Sox, like nobody would watch, but it was the Yankees and the Dodgers. It was the Celtics and the Lakers. Everyone wanted to watch. It was the matchup of the century, even though the Yankees forgot to show up. And I will have that fifth inning haunted in me for the rest of my life. I will be rolling over in my, I will be rolling over in my grave Sunday, rolling over and being like, man, oh man, I cannot believe that. I mean, they had that game in the bag. I still can't believe it. I honestly, like, I just kind of tried to erase it from my memory. It's like going up to the expo board or just the board and taking the expo marker and just erasing it completely and just forgetting about it. It's like, teacher, you're sitting there in the classroom and the teacher's like, did you get that on the board? I got to erase it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, it's gone from my memory. I wasn't even paying attention. That's how I feel about that fifth inning, dude. That was awful.
Yeah. And you gotta see from my perspective. It hurts a little bit watching Juan Soto because obviously
Nationals. You guys could never afford him anyways.
Yeah, I mean like that.
You want a ring though? We want a ring.
Yeah.
All right, ready for this one? I think you're going to be, I don't know, you're not going to like this part of it. College football rankings, here we go. Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, Texas. Those are your 5. You're going to like them, but you're not going to like what I have to say. College football, what we finally got the rankings. I'm just going to start off with a bang right now. I don't think Ohio State should be ranked over Georgia. I really don't, because we had this conversation. Ohio State, they lost to Oregon, and Georgia beat Texas when Georgia was number 1 in their house. It should be Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3. And I told you guys I think you're overrated. And I know you're not feeling high and mighty about that Penn State win. You can't be. Come on, you barely beat them. Penn State's not even that good. I'm waiting for you.
I mean, okay, Penn State was a top 3 seed. They were like the 3rd seed. Ohio State is the 4th seed, and the fact that
Penn
they won
State's
that
so
game,
overrated. You know they are.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They overrated. It's the fact they won that game. They went into it. Did you see Georgia versus Florida? Georgia almost lost to Florida.
They almost lost to us because we have the best freshman quarterback in the nation, of course, and our defense has played good these past 2 weeks. So I think Georgia's better than Georgia.
No, I said you think Florida's better than Penn State?
No, Florida's not better than Penn State. No.
Oh, okay. Now it's like Georgia. Come on, let's be honest. Georgia, they lost to Bama. They had a close game with Florida.
Alabama's a really good team. We've had this conversation.
Okay, well, they're not anymore. They're not even in the top 10.
They're still in the playoff. They're 11.
They lost to Vanderbilt and they lost to Tennessee.
And Tennessee's a good team, and Vanderbilt. It doesn't. That loss, I told you, this doesn't have as much of it.
I really like Tennessee.
So do you think Tennessee's better than Penn State?
Yes.
Okay, fair. So Tennessee.
I think Penn State to me is only good when it comes to whiteouts. To be honest, like,
do you think Penn State's overrated?
Yeah, they are overrated. I think Oregon's overrated.
You told me Oregon's the best team in the country.
No, I said they are the number 1 ranked team. I'm going off of stats.
Okay. Who do you think the best team is in the country right now? Then
I think the best team in the
Don't
country.
you dare say
No, it's not Ohio
State.
State. No, it's not Ohio
Oh,
State.
okay.
They lost. It probably got to be. I might got to give it to.
Don't say Miami.
No, I'm not saying Miami.
Okay. Okay.
I was about to say I might have to give it to Tennessee.
Tennessee? What?
Yes,
No
Tennessee.
shot.
Tennessee is very impressive.
Tennessee is 7. They're 7. They barely beat Florida.
Okay, and they still beat Alabama.
You can't see Tennessee. You can't say Tennessee is the 7th best team in the country, and you think they're the best team? Come on.
We're talking about right now. Like I feel like how they're playing right now. I feel like they're playing like the best team. Like I mean, if you saw
think,
the game,
you think Tennessee's better than Georgia?
Yeah, yes, I think if they could, how they played Alabama, if they play Alabama, play Georgia how they played Alabama, they're beating Georgia.
Tennessee also beat Alabama at home, and it came down to the end.
I would say Texas.
No, absolutely not. No, Texas got smoked by Georgia at home.
Okay,
come on. You can't say.
I'm talking about now. Rankings all for recency, not the beginning.
You've got to go right. If you're going to say anybody, you should say Ohio State's better than those teams. Come on,
Ohio State. What? I can't say over Texas. Texas has one of the most talented teams. Ohio State
and Georgia beat them.
Also, Ohio State. Why would I say Ohio State when they won against Penn State and they were down like 10-0 at halftime?
But you only lost by 1 to Oregon, so you got to be right there, right? You have all the talent in the world.
But these teams are not very impressive. I don't think there's any clear champion this year. To be honest,
I don't think so either. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. But if anything, you're an Ohio State guy. You've got to be like feeling.
Boise State might upset one of the teams in the playoffs. Like Ashton Genty. I think they might upset.
Because they have get out of here. You know that's not true. Come on.
All they gotta do is run the ball. Running the ball is what works nowadays. Look at the Ravens.
Do you think? All right, so okay. Actually, you know what they say right now? Indiana is the most underrated team in the country.
But Ohio State's going to be Indiana, so it don't matter.
Yeah, I would hope so. You guys are the number 2 team in the country. Look at all the talent you guys have. You got Denzel Burke, you got Jeremiah Smith, Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, Travion Williams. They got the star defensive end they have. They have Caleb Downs. You guys are stacked. I had this conversation with you, Igbuka, before the season was started. There's no reason why Ohio State doesn't get to the end or close to the promised land. If they don't, you have to have the conversation again about Ryan Day. We'll get to that in December, in January. We're going to see how it goes. You guys are going to the Big Ten championship though already, right? Isn't it? Because the winner of that Penn State Ohio State game was technically going.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Ohio State and Oregon probably.
Oh yeah, gonna get the rematch. Yeah, in Indianapolis.
If they're still 1 and 2, that would be a big game. Like that would be.
Yep. That'll be massive. That'll be massive. Yeah, I'm completely okay with the top 10, even though I think Alabama's better than Notre Dame, but that's okay. The Alabama. So the 3 big games this weekend are. Well, I'm a Florida guy, so I'm going to say it's a big game. But you got Georgia, Ole Miss. You got Alabama, LSU, Florida, Texas. It remains to be seen if DJ Lagway will play. And you got Colorado and Texas Tech. Colorado is officially in the college football rankings. They're at 20 now. They were 21 of the AP poll. They're 20. I still think they're a little overrated. I don't think they really played anybody, but we shall see. They're 6-2. They're going bowling. But, sticking here on college, do you have something to say? What?
I was gonna say that. I was laughing when you said the bowling thing because I posted something about that. But the LSU though, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Alabama being overrated. When LSU beats Alabama, they're going to top 15, top 20 range again.
We'll see. Well, we shall see. This is a big game for Alabama and LSU. LSU just lost to No. My apologies. No, A&M lost to South Carolina. Yes. Okay. Anyways, yeah, good games this weekend. Yeah, I'm going back to what we were talking about a little earlier. I think the Gators would have beat Georgia if DJ Lagway played the entire game. The Gators were playing Georgia. They were doing really, really well against Georgia. Their defense was showing up, but we'll see if Lagway plays this week. But yeah, I think Florida would have beat Georgia if Lagway played that entire game. You saw what he was doing. Man, he's got a pretty deep ball. Woo, he drops it right in the breadbasket. But how about this one here? What do you
think Florida's going to beat Texas?
Oh no, No, no way.
No.
No. What, you think you have a shot? No way.
Vanderbilt and South Carolina is going to be interesting though.
Yes, Vanderbilt and South Carolina will be interesting. Vanderbilt's ranked now too. Yeah. I'm interested to see how that goes. But how about this one here? What do you think about the whole James Franklin situation from this past weekend when he got on video in an embarrassing argument with a fan, and he basically said, if you're going to be a man, not to talk, what's your name? I'll give you my opinion, but I want to hear yours.
Well, I feel like the fan really, like, if it was someone that had like confidence, like you could tell person was trolling, but if it was someone with confidence, they would have checked them and been like, they would have kept arguing with him. But I think the reason when he asked what his name was, I saw people commenting this, they probably were like, he was probably thinking in the back of his head, oh, right when he says his name, that's going straight on the ban list. Like, so it's like, so I get where the fans coming from, like not wanting to, like, not trying to put his personal information out there. But at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna troll, like, you got to stand your ground too. Like, it's like, come on, like, it's so much you can say about Penn State too. It's like Penn State, like, especially. Imagine if Ohio State fan was trolling him. Like, you could say every year, Penn State, in these most recent years, like, I have Penn State friends and all. Like, in these most recent years, they always look good. Like, they got a good defense. They ranked high. They like number 8. They like number 5. They number 4. Number 3. Like, they always these top seeds. And then but then that's until they play a real game. And then when they play a real game, they get smacked. They get humbled. They get put back to reality. And then they're like, oh, well, that's the season. Like, oh, better luck next year. Like, they just lose all hope. And I just feel like that's why no one takes Penn State serious. Like, no one, like, I don't think Penn State, like, we're not going to hear Penn State in the Final Four discussions. Like, they're not making it far in the playoffs. Like, I feel like Penn State.
We'll see.
Penn State's not even better than Indiana, to be honest.
I don't think Penn State's even a top 10 team, if you ask me. That's my opinion. I don't think they're that good. I really don't. However, I mean, James Franklin is 1-10 against Ohio State in his tenure against the Buckeyes, and he lost another big game. He's got a reputation for being unable to perform in big moments. I mean, I think at the end of this season with James Franklin, I think you're going to have to reevaluate him at the end of the season. I know they gave him this contract extension, but you know how in college football it goes. You can buy him out. The boosters can buy him out, and anything could change in college football. I think that he should be reevaluated at the end of the season, and because you can't be 1-10 against Ohio State, you got to get us past that. I mean, I think that's inexcusable. And then after the game, you're doing that to a fan when the game is over. You're a head coach of a huge program in college football. That's embarrassing. That he should not be allowed to do. He shouldn't be doing that. He should, like you said, got to be smarter than that. And I think James Franklin should be reevaluated at the end of this season. And it remains to be seen, because if you can't beat Penn State or you can't beat Ohio State, you're going to be in trouble. But yeah. Go ahead.
I will say though that that was like the same thing they were saying about Oregon. They were saying, like, for the Oregon coach, like, he had a bad record against Ohio State. Like, I think they were saying that was his I forgot. I think because I know Oregon did beat Ohio State like a few years ago. So I think this was like his second win against Ohio State, and he had like a 2-something record against them.
Yeah.
It's like,
go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like that speaks volume. Like, that shows that there's a lot of these teams that are like they should not be doing what they're doing, and it's like they're just having, like, it's always the teams that are good regular season teams, like, they're the ones showing out. Like, it's like these teams are not, like, they're not very like, I don't think they're contenders. Like, and I feel like people need to understand the difference between someone that's performing well in the regular season and someone that's performing good in playoffs. And this was this wasn't against Ohio State, but it said Dan Lanning, this was his first ever win versus a top 2 ranked team. His previous record was 0-19-1.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a big deal. But let's go to the WNBA here briefly with the whole WNBA situation going on. Caitlin Clark reportedly offered $1 million salary to join the unrivaled 3x3 league. Reports are swelling that Clark was her salary was $76,535 for 2024, has been offered $1 million plus equity stake in the team. Could we have a WNBA lockout? I mean, I don't know. I think this is really interesting to think about here because we haven't gotten the WNBA and the players have not made any ground. I know it's only really been a month, but could Caitlin Clark leave the WNBA? I had this conversation last week earlier on the podcast. I don't think the WNBA will be going into a lockout like this. I think they'll come to some sort of agreement. I think the NBA will kind of mend it or figure it out because they just saw their league get to where it is this past season, to where it was in the past, where no revenue is being brought in. Caitlin Clark was a driving force of the WNBA last year. If you want to say Angel Reese as well, even though I'm not a fan of her. However, Caitlin Clark, she put the WNBA on the map officially, I think, and I don't think there will be a lockout. What do you think?
I think something definitely that was interesting, what you said on one of the podcasts, which was about that that when it came to I think it was. I think you were saying like on one of the Sundays, like they had like for the channels, it was like that. They had like 3 different games or 2 different games playing at once or whatever, and you were trying to get rid of the WNBA.
Oh yeah. That was the Jets and the Steelers, the Dodgers and the Mets, and the WNBA Finals, the New York Liberty versus the Las Vegas Aces. Yeah,
and it's like. And a lot, and you said a bunch of people. It wasn't just you; like it was a bunch of people that just didn't want to watch that. And I feel like
we're upset. Yeah,
and I feel like that's why they had to. These players they need to make noise. They got to make a decision. They got to transition into something else because it's like it's not working. Like if it's not making money, it's not making sense. Like it's not if it's not getting revenue. Like it's like nothing. There's no reason to just like keep doing it because like. Because you're basically putting your body on the line for what? For like a small fan base to be watching this stuff. It's like you can if you went to like a different company like the like if you went to the 3-on-3 league and stuff, like I feel like recognition because people want to watch that because it's like that's something you can watch on YouTube. Like that's something fast you can watch. Like it's something entertaining. Like it's like the Big 3 league for men and stuff. Like I don't really watch it, but it's like but it's like this YouTuber Nazir Kaur, like when I heard when he got into the Big 3 league, like that brought like interest in then like other people like Jeff Teague being in it, like former NBA players like Mario Chalmers, like it's like players like that being in it, and Michael Beasley, like it kind of like it makes it entertaining, like people want to watch that, like it's like it brings interest to it, like it gives a fan base, and it's like even if like if they started like a women's basketball league or women's basketball YouTube space, I don't think it would work. I really don't. I don't think the revenue. I don't think they bring in enough revenue. I don't think enough people would watch it. I really don't because more people are watching TV and stuff. They're not going to be streaming it. I feel like it would because like for example
but you have to think too though with 3-on-3 are you going to be able to fill a whole stadium in Madison Square Garden like they are in the WNBA now? No way. You won't be able to fill a stadium. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I'm not. Oh, yeah, maybe not that, but I'm just saying like that. It's like from like at least get your name out. Like for example, like how I said, Bree Green, known as like the best woman player on YouTube. Like if we got YouTubers and WNBA players going against each other, like those would be like one-on-one matches people want to watch. Like
yeah, but I don't think most people don't even know who those people like. I mean, people do, but they don't know. Like, I mean, they know who Caitlin Clark is because of how good she is on the court. But I think you keep it traditional like the way it is. They figure it out this offseason. They're not going to have a lockout. I think they'll figure it out. But how about this one here though, from the Chiefs and the Bucks game, real quick? Taylor Swift reunites with Brittany Mahomes in the private suite at the Chiefs game because everyone was upset because Brittany Mahomes supported her views for Trump, and Taylor Swift obviously has her views for Kamala Harris, and she endorsed her, and so on and so forth. I really don't think it's a big deal. I think at the end of the day, they're just two people. They are allowed to have different opinions and they can still be friends, just like you and I hate when people get like this. They make a whole big deal about it on social media. They're allowed, they weren't in the suite before and now they're in the suite. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. They're just two people. And they have different political views. They're multimillionaires. I really don't think it affects them the way people are trying to make it out to be. Travis or Taylor Swift shouldn't be hanging out with Brittany Mahomes because they don't share the same beliefs, and Brittany Mahomes shouldn't be hanging out with Taylor Swift because they don't have the same. It's like, that's so stupid. I don't think there's anything wrong with them hanging out, and people trying to make a narrative then that it wasn't supposed to be. But saw this one here. What did you think of this? Caitlin Clark says she's fired up as she attends the Taylor Swift first Indianapolis Eras Tour because she is a Swiftie. But this one here really caught my eye. Wife of Rams quarterback Kelly Stafford says she was tired of the focus on Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. So her daughter and she's a Taylor Swift fan. Her daughter loves Taylor Swift as well. But she said on her podcast that she loves Swift, but she bemoaned that players like her husband Stafford lacked coverage. Do you think the Chiefs and Taylor Swift took up all the coverage last year in the NFL? Like, I mean, I know they showed her at the games, but like, I don't think like she took away the whole spotlight for the NFL. What do you think?
I don't think she took away all the coverage, but I feel like if you combine her and the Chiefs, like that was like the storyline. Like, it's like if you like you would like their popularity overshadowed over like the talent in the NFL. I feel like a lot of people were just like saying like wanting to cheer for the Chiefs or just cheering against the Chiefs. Like it was just all about the Chiefs. Like when the 49ers and like the real diehard fans, like like the diehard fans wanted to see the Lions and Ravens in the Super Bowl. But it's like for the casual fan, for the casual fans want to see the Chiefs in it, and then it didn't matter who they went against. Like, I mean, I wanted it to be. I wanted the Chiefs to beat the Ravens because, like, I have a lot of friends that are Ravens fans, and they're just so like ignorant about Lamar Jackson. I'm like,
yeah, that is true.
And they just act like Lamar Jackson's like the greatest quarterback. Like he's like we haven't seen nothing like this since Michael Vick. Like he's the greatest scrambler of it. Like, and it might be true. But it's like we're not like okay. Like what has he done though? He hasn't. Like people don't keep the same energy for like my friend. He likes both teams. He likes the Ravens and the Sixers, and he doesn't keep Lamar on the same pedestal as he doesn't keep Lamar on the same pedestal as Joel Embiid. Like they both win MVPs, but they don't do anything in the playoffs. Like last year was the first time Lamar's
right. We got to see this year what Lamar does in the playoffs. You're absolutely right. But and she also said she never once said I didn't like Taylor Swift. So I get what she's saying, but I mean, they're still playing the games. Like just because they're showing Taylor Swift during the games a little, and they haven't shown her as much, I guess, this season. I feel like they've backed off the coverage a lot, but I don't think it's a problem. I mean, it's the Taylor Swift thing brought in so much revenue last year at the NFL. I think she brought in over 300 million, but it's not an issue. I mean, they're still playing the games. They still have to win the games, like whether they show her or not. Like the Chiefs still have to, and it's a marketing thing. The NFL is making sure they're marketing. They're going to continue to show her. I've had this conversation with so many people. They're not going to. I feel like it's died down a little bit now because like, we saw her so many times last year, and she's on tour right now, but they're not going to stop showing her. So I don't know why people get upset. But Pat McAfee was actually at the Eras Tour, her Indianapolis show, which was kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't really think it's a problem. Two people are just, in a booth with Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift. But yeah, I'm ready to get into the last part of the show. I feel like the highlight of the show, the politics part. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
You there? Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Oh, you can give your views first. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you can always rebut me and kind of just go in there. But so Donald Trump, so we're going to get into the politics part here for everyone listening. Donald Trump wins the Electoral College 277 to 226. I did not think Donald Trump was going to sweep all of those states. He won Pennsylvania, he won Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. He won Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, and Wisconsin. I did not think he was going to win all those states. I was like, he'll probably win one or two, and then it might come down to Pennsylvania. I mean, he swept all of those states. I mean, did you think Trump was going to win all those states?
No, I didn't think so. I felt like I will say from being a Democrat and stuff, and of course Kamala, she was at Howard, so at my school. And
it's like, yep.
And she was repping, and it was a big it was a big buzz around like this was our big moment on campus, having the watch party. Like it was a fun time, and it's like but the problem is like that even she showed it yesterday, like she doesn't really listen to the people. She she didn't even address the people at Howard. Like everybody showed out to the watch party, showed out to see Kamala, to support. Like the energy was there. Like everybody was supporting. Like everybody it was off the roof. Like everybody brought their support. And like, I mean, yes, there were some Trump supporters there and stuff, like people that go to Howard and all that. Like everybody has their opinions, but it's like majority was supporting Kamala. Like anytime it said she won a state, like the whole crowd went crazy. And it's like, and then before she even lost, then they made the announcement like like not even Kamala, like someone else makes the announcement saying that Kamala will not come out tonight and for people to come back tomorrow. It's like we stayed out here till 1:00. And you're gonna tell us that she coming out?
Well,
tomorrow?
let me ask you this though, because I know you're a proud Democrat, and that's who you support, and like I respect it. But how does that make you feel that your political candidate that you chose to vote for, that's your decision, which I disagree with. However, how does that make you feel that she made you stand out there all those hours during last night, and you didn't even get anything from her in return? Meaning, like, you stood out there all those nights where you go to school, where she went to school, where she is supposed to be appreciative of her fans and the people that support her at her school. How does that make you feel?
It's very disappointing because I feel like that I give her respect for when it's due, when it comes to the fact that she wasn't even supposed to be running to begin with as president. Like she probably wasn't prepared. She only had 100 and something days to get her campaign together. But at the same
110,
time,
they said,
like you had to work with what you got. Like you gotta put on your best face. And I feel like she was really just going off the popularity. And I agree with what people were saying that I think they were talking about on CNN that it felt like I saw like a video. They were saying that Kamala, she was mainly focusing on like rebuting like what Trump was doing.
Trump was saying,
and like going against his rules instead of focusing on what she really wanted
what
to do.
she was going to be. Yeah, you're absolutely right. No, and that's the thing too, Andrew. That's the problem that I had with Kamala Harris. Listen, I understand both sides, Republican, Democrat. I'm a Republican, but I think the main thing with Kamala Harris that we have to focus on, and what we saw, is she didn't really have anything to fall back on. She didn't have any policies. She went up there and it just didn't seem genuine. It seemed fake. Like every time it just seemed like she had a different accent. She wasn't really going into her policies. She wasn't, I mean, during the debate, she really didn't have anything to fall back on. I mean, and then we saw, and also too, another thing, the Democrats and her, Joe Biden and the Harris administration, Andrew, they've had 3.5, almost 4 years to turn around this economy that they so-called say that Trump ruined the economy. It's all Trump's fault. However, you've had 4 years. You've done absolutely zero. You failed the American people. And I think people were tired of going to the grocery store and paying $9 for eggs. People were tired of, all these issues that are going on. A weak military. The border is a massive issue right now. I mean, you look at the border, even as I think you can set aside politics for a second, Republicans and Democrats. Do you think it's normal to have, do you think it's okay to have the border wide open where anyone can just walk in right across? Like, is that normal? Do you think that's okay? Or should we have rules where, like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should. Obviously, there should be border control. Like, you shouldn't just let anybody in because that's how crime rate gets even more than it is. Like, and that's the cartel and like all that. And it's like, and we're not trying to go down that road. But at the same time, that I think that it should be to extent though. Like, because at the same time, we got to look back in the day. People's resource from coming to they came from other countries to come to America because this was their golden days. This was their golden opportunity. This was for them to make opportunities for themselves and to make like a living. And it's like, and they felt like America was like the land of the free. Like this is like they're going to they're basically they're changing their whole world around from coming to America. And I feel like there still should be those opportunities. Like we should want people to come to America to get these opportunities to give us the reputation, because it's like you don't want because you want these good relationships with these other countries. Like if you don't have these good relationships
100%.
with these other countries, then like if we're just giving border patrol and like nobody, if we're doing like if we're closing the border and like nobody can come over and stuff like that aren't citizens, it's like it's
Well,
not.
you have to focus on the security at the border. You can't just let anyone come in. I don't have an issue with people coming in, but you have to come in a certain way. You can't just walk across and say, "I'm here." Who's paying for these people when they come across? Are your taxpayer money going to come out of it? The government, they're going to charge all the taxes. You're going to have to pay for it. If I'm going to work every single day, I've got to pay for somebody who's coming across. I don't even know who they are. Is that fair? Did they get all this that I have? Because you're going to have to pay for it. It's going to come out of your taxes. Anyways, going back to last night here, though, I want to stick on this though. From what I saw, Kamala Harris's campaign spent $1 billion compared to Donald Trump's, who spent $388 million. I think I saw on CNN last night. It was, I don't know if it was Obama's former campaign advisor or Biden's. However, he said that how do you spend $1 billion in a campaign and you lose the election? And I don't know if this makes you feel any better, but the whole Avengers celebrity lineup that didn't really do anything for Kamala Harris. You had Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Megan Thee Stallion, John Legend, Oprah Winfrey, the Obamas, Taylor Swift, George Clooney, Usher. I think when people saw that, I think that really upset Americans, because those people do not relate to the average American. Then people that work 9 to 5s, that are trying to make sure they're feeding their families, or trying to make sure that there's food on the table for their kids when they go to the grocery store and they find out eggs are $9. I think that was the main thing there, and I think it was a slap in the face to the American people when she had all those people up there. You're going to hang out with all the elitists. I mean, everyone, and people could say, oh well, Trump was with Joe Rogan, or Joe Rogan endorsed Trump, or Elon Musk. That lineup right there is just insane. And I get that's their friend and they're supporting her, but I don't think people can relate to it. And Taylor Swift and LeBron and all those people, they're all upset and this and that. It's not going to affect them. JLo was up on stage crying. It's not going to affect her. She's a multimillionaire. She's going to be sitting in her mansion, not having to worry about it. So I think right there, that was just, I don't think that it didn't work for her. Clearly it didn't work, because all those people that went out and vouched for her, it didn't work. America at the end of the day chose freedom. The celebrity endorsement era is dead. What do you think?
I feel like the celebrity endorsement, like, I mean, I feel like it definitely it was definitely, a lot of these Democrats, they didn't endorse her until like last minute. Like that's
Right.
first. Like we saw LeBron James, he waited until like a couple of days. Like even like we when like even when Kamala first this, like when she was running and stuff, like it took Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, like it took them some time to even like officially endorse her. And it's
Yep.
like getting all these different celebrities. Like I feel like it's kind of, the thing is, I feel like yes, it's good to get people on your side, but you gotta have a great like plan beyond it. Like the abortion thing, I think that was something that could have went either way. Like it could have went in her favor, or it could have went into people feeling
Right.
like a lot of people, a lot of religious people, and a lot of people with Christian views and Catholic views. Like I even know people personally with like religious views, and
Yep.
they voted for Trump because of the abortion thing. Like because they
Well,
don't
but
feel like,
Bing, the abortion is up to the states. I thought, isn't it? It's up to the states. So because they passed that, they changed that, so it's up to the states. Anyways, I get that whole controversy there with the abortion, and everyone was upset. They say, I can't believe you voted for Trump. But this is my thing here. If Trump is such a bad person, if he's such a bad president, or he was, why are people voting for him a second time? Why or why? Because that's what I want to ask people. Donald Trump, if he's such a bad person, why did people vote for him a second time? You know what? Because the people on social media and the people on Twitter and the people in their basements and the keyboard warriors, they don't make up the entire American population. The people voted. They wanted Donald Trump to win a second time. He did. He deserved to win. And now it's his turn. The Democrats were in there for almost 4 years now. They haven't done anything. The military disaster in Afghanistan, the border crisis, the taxes, the inflation, the interest rates. You can keep piling it up. The gas prices for a really long time here. The gas prices are lower here in Florida. Biden cut the Keystone Pipeline, all the executive orders that he cut in his first day. They had their turn. Now it's the Republicans' turn. And people need to sit back and let Trump do his thing, because it's his turn. If he screws it up, that's on him. I have complete faith in him. I don't think he's going to mess it up. I think the economy is going to come back like a roaring lion, and I think we're going to be just fine. I know you have your differences on that, but yeah, I mean, like I said, the key issues were really the main things. And I think, about Trump too, Bing, you should judge a politician off of their policies. We're not judging a politician off of his personality and what he does in his free time. Are you
I,
judging? Are you judging? Are you judging LeBron for his performance on the court? What he does
oh,
with his off the basketball court? Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but it's like a lot of people think that he's going to be a dictator more than a
That's
president.
I know, but that you and I both know that's a bunch of bullshit. Come on, BS. That's
Yeah,
not going to
but
happen.
but
That's
but
so stupid.
what's addressed though? Something that is important is the fact that what does Trump winning do for like the middle class, lower class? Like, what is that going
What
to
do
do
you?
for us?
Well, I
Like,
mean, for one, the interest rates are going to go down. They brought them down about a month ago, but they're going to go down even further. He's going to figure out the whole thing with the energy crisis. He's going to drill more in America. Gas prices are going to go down even further. He's going to fix the inflation with people going to the grocery store and paying $10 for gas. He's going to make our military stronger again. He's going to be a lot stronger world leader. And you're going back to the middle class and the lower class. I think Trump's going to cut your taxes for sure. He did that when he was in 2016 to 2020. I know the whole COVID thing that happened. The unemployment rate's going to be even lower than it is now. I think we're going to come back like lions. I really do.
I don't know about the job opportunities. I don't feel like he's going to create a lot of more
How?
job opportunities.
Why wouldn't he be able to?
I mean,
He's going to.
because the thing is that I think he's trying to also like he's trying to also prove like he doesn't want just anybody getting jobs. Like he wants people that are hardworking people. He wants people that are like have a certain like live up to a certain resume. Like they live up to a certain level and to get these different opportunities. I feel like he's gonna be someone that's gonna be focusing on um like helping people that are I feel like his goal, his motto is going to be helping people that are either established, rich, or people that are well off more than
So
helping the people coming up.
you woke up this morning. If Kamala Harris got in, if she would have won last night, would you have felt better with the economy in these 4 years, or would you feel better with Donald Trump as the president? Would you
Okay,
feel better
economy in
if I were
terms
to
of
ask you the economy, because we've
yeah.
seen what the economy is right now with Biden and Harris. Do you think the economy's
Well,
in a good state right now?
no, like in terms of like money and stuff, like no,
I'm
it's
just
not
saying.
gonna
I'm
be
just saying
because
right.
it's because it's gonna be because she already said a lot of the things she wanted to do was similar or the same as Biden. So it's like we
and
basically
and
be getting
has Biden has Biden as a whole, as a leader, has he failed us or has he succeeded?
I feel like I feel like he gave up on us.
You think but the thing is too is Kamala Harris, she's second in charge, she's the VP. I know people say, well, the vice president doesn't have as much pull or as much weight as the president. She's just his second man in charge. She's his Batman to his Robin. She's right there with him. She knows everything that's going on. So how are
But
people
she
going to
was
sit here and
talking.
tell me that
But
what is going on in the country, she is going to make it better? She never
but,
had a plan.
but she was bad mouthing like Biden after
Of
said like
course.
I already knew he wasn't fit and like I knew like he wasn't gonna be able to like she's not
Do,
surprised like she
let me
was.
let me ask you this. Do you think if the Democrats would have actually had a legit candidate from before Biden dropped out, and they say everyone that Biden, kind of screwed them over, and then Harris just kind of came out of the wings, do you think if the Democrats had a legit candidate from the beginning, when the primary started, when for the Republicans, when Trump announced that he was going to run, and that you think at that time, if the Democrats would have had a legit candidate, not Harris, because I think she's a laughing joke, if they had a legit candidate, do you think they would have won this election?
Yeah, if it was like if they would have had like a um little election for like the Democrats and stuff, like they had like a mini election and we got to choose like who we wanted to represent us, then I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that would have been that would have made it stronger because at the end of the day a lot of Democrats didn't there's a lot of Democrats that just didn't vote or they just voted for
Mm-hmm.
Trump, and then there's the independents that they're most likely the independent votes are mainly going to Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm pretty sure there's more Democrats that voted for Trump than Republicans that voted for Kamala. So it's like it
I
kind of
think you're absolutely
is,
right.
and I
Yep,
feel
I
like
think
that's
you're
where
absolutely
it
right.
was outnumbered because definitely like like I looked at it, and it's like the main categories for Democrats is like black man, black woman, Hispanic woman, Hispanic man, and um and then you have white man and white woman for Republican, and it's like that's not the obviously the overall, like that's not everything, like it doesn't mean that applies to everybody, but it's like that's just the overall like representation, and it's like, and if you look at those numbers, a lot of like black people and Hispanics like didn't want to vote, or like they were scared to vote because of their voice being heard, like they felt like they didn't know what was really going to be best, because at the same time, a lot of people that had the ideology that, okay, we're going to have the abortion thing and stuff, and we're going to make history with a first woman president, a first black woman president at that, someone that is for the people, someone for the HBCUs, will help out HBCUs, will give more opportunities for college students, more like job opportunities, like helping out.
Who's paying for all that? Taxpayers, right?
I mean, yeah.
But do you see what I'm saying? No, I'm like simply just stating, like, you make great points there, but who's paying for that? You want a high?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money going on. So listen, I understand exactly where you're coming from, but you know what? RG3 was right. I think he hit the nail on the head when he posted this. I think Trump won the election when they tried to assassinate him the first time. I think when America saw that,
I did say that. I did.
When he put his fist up in the air like that, I think that changed the completely. I mean, I had friends call me, and I had family friends call me. I think he just won the election after that happened, because I mean that just was absolutely insane. And then they tried it a second time. I mean, the amount of times that they've tried to knock this guy down and he's still here. I know everyone has to say about, oh, he's a convicted felon and shouldn't be able to run for president. How is a convicted felon going to be able to be in office? And then they're going to try to do what they're going to try to do at the end of the month because of the whole, sentencing thing or whatever. They dropped a bunch of the charges, but it doesn't matter. Andrew, I want to end off on this here. This is an analogy I've used since he started running, and just as a whole. So you've got two quarterbacks in the NFL. You've got quarterback one, you got quarterback two, you got politic candidate one, politic candidate two. Okay, drop the list down, put the scroll down, you cover your eyes, and you look at quarterback. You can't see quarterback's one stats, and you can't see quarterback two's stats. And my apologies. Actually, let me rephrase that real quick. So you got candidate one, you got candidate two, you got quarterback one, you got quarterback two. Okay, you know what they do, whatever that happens off the field. Let's judge them on their play. I don't care what he does off the field. I don't care what she does off the field. I don't care what he does in his free time. I care about the policies of this country, where it's going to go. I care about what my quarterback is going to do on the field. I don't care if he goes out until 4 a.m. I really don't care. If he's winning, if he's helping us out as a whole, if he's winning us games, that's all that matters, right? I know there's a lot of other issues as well that people have their differences aside. But if I look at quarterback one and quarterback two, and that one's better than that one, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, right? You put the two candidates next to each other, right?
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
I feel like it depends on the sport, like the certain situation.
I'm just saying, like football, like quarterback one, quarterback two, the driving force, right?
Yeah, like it's the eye test. Like you got to go off of what you're seeing, and it's
I got to see what he's doing on the field. I don't care what he does off the field. I'm not judging a politician off of what their personal character. I'm judging them off of their policies. They're a politician. You don't have to love the guy,
but you also got to address that he.
Why do I?
He's a representation of us. He's a representation.
But
of the
why
country.
but why do I have to care about what he does in his free time? Why he's doing a job, right? I don't care what you do in your free time. You're working a job. I don't care if Travis Kelce's partying in his free time. I care what he does on the field, right? As long as you show up to home plate, as long as you show up as quarterback one, that's what matters, right?
I will give him the benefit of the doubt that I feel like he is like, I had to do this for the debate team, like talk about him being a strong leader, which I agree that he has the connections with the other countries and stuff. Like he has these partnerships where they respect him as a leader. They respect what he does.
You're right.
He's usually the one in control. Like if we had a woman as president, and it's no disrespect to having a woman or a black woman as president, but it's like people are gonna treat her less than, because it's like they're not used to that. They're not gonna
right. You're absolutely right. On a world stage, would Donald Trump or Kamala Harris be respected more? We already saw what Donald Trump was in 2016 to 2020. He already has, like you said, foreign affairs and world leaders relationships. And compared to Harris, would she be respected on a world stage compared to Donald Trump? No, I don't think she would. Would you feel? Do you feel like your military would be stronger with her, or would you feel like your military would be stronger with Trump? Trump, right?
I mean, yes,
I can't.
Trump.
I can't.
Well, it's with experience. Like it's with experience.
And
It's fact.
and 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 this is his second time around too, so I think things are going to be totally different. I think he has a
Yeah.
way better understanding from the first time around. So, like I said, let's give him a fair shot. People should, give him a fair shot. Let's see how these go. We still have to wait until January 20th for Trump to get inaugurated.
But
Hopefully
wasn't but
he
wasn't
gets
he
there. What?
wasn't
Hmm?
he talking about putting like his political opponents like in jail?
No, that's not going to happen. No way.
Uh,
They want to
I
put him
mean,
in jail. They're trying to put him in jail.
yeah, but well, obviously he's not going to be in jail now, so because he's trying to get immunity
Obviously.
too. He's trying to get
He's
immunity.
not. He's not gonna go to jail. We all know that. But anyways, like I
Yeah,
said, let's judge him. It's like well, he's not a rookie because he's already had his time. But it's like bringing back a quarterback like you already had a few years ago,
yeah. I
and
guess you can't dress them off their past.
he didn't do that well on another team. But let's give him a second shot. Let's give him a fair shot, just like everyone gave Biden a fair shot. People were upset. Now it's the Republicans' turn. People need to grow up and stop being so immature and handle it like men and women and deal with it. We're men and women. At the end of the day, you can shake hands. You like one candidate, I like the other. I hate the whole thing on social media that I've been seeing. I can't be friends with you. And I mean, I've lost like 50 followers today on Instagram. I appreciate you for not unfollowing me. I'm not going to unfollow you because of who you vote for and who you like. We may disagree. We may not agree with it, but at the end of the day, they're just candidates. I understand that people have their own beliefs and it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. But like I said, if you can't handle it, the unfollow button is right there. You can't lose sleep at the
Yeah,
end of the
like
day. You just got to keep rolling.
yeah, I would never do that because like I mean I
It's
literally went
immature.
to yeah, and I went to like middle school and high school with like mainly like white people and Republicans and stuff, and like
Uh-huh.
that's their
You went to
family views.
DeMatha,
Like
right?
yeah, DeMatha, and
Yeah.
then and it's like and yes, I know Maryland, DC mainly Democrat states, and they voted for
Hmm.
um and voted for Kamala. But the thing is, like, yes, you're gonna encounter with people that don't agree with you on different stands, and it's like that's how life is. Like, if you can't deal with that, like, imagine you're at a job and then you have somebody that you disagree with, like you're working with, and
Right.
you can't get along with them, or what? You're gonna quit the job the next day because you can't get along with somebody, like,
Are
and
you gonna kick your feet and cry and get your tears and your tissues out because I don't agree with you on certain things? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
yeah, and I'll
I
be
mean,
honest. I mean, at
I think
Howard,
that's
like,
insane.
and yeah, I mean, at Howard, I mean, I'd be dealing with like people be saying I'd be having drama. Like I'd be dealing with people that I don't like or they don't like me every day and stuff. And it's like it doesn't get to me because it's
Right.
like at the end of the day, you gotta still we all gotta respect each other for even getting to here, getting to the point where we're being able
Right.
to do what we do. And also it's like there's no point in giving them your energy. Give that
Hmm.
energy to the people that matter, the people that care
Right.
about you, the people that are there for you. Like if they like you don't gotta like somebody, but
Hmm.
don't let them control your emotions, control your journey, because it's like
Hmm.
that as anytime you let something get to you and you let something hold you back, it kind of
Yeah.
minimizes your potential. It doesn't it stops you from getting to the point that you want to be at. So you really at this
Yep.
point in people's lives, like they can't be letting other people get to them. Like it's like you can like and it just and it really is petty because like that
Yeah.
because people are gonna know when you're unfollowing them or you're just like leaving them or like and they're gonna remember the same person you were then, and then if you and then you switch up and try to be friends with them again, it's
Right,
like
right, right, right.
you'll remember how you
You
were.
can't you showed your true colors exactly 100%. I had like 6 or 7 DMs today and it's like you're not a good person. I can't believe you're doing this. You don't agree with the decency and this and that. And I'm like you're so immature. At the end of the day, you are so immature. You are the problem with why we have this. I mean, like I said, he won. Donald Trump won fair and square. The American people voted. This is who they wanted to elect. Now let him have his turn. Joe Biden had his turn with Harris as his VP. Now Trump and JD Vance have their turn. Clean your bags, pack your bags, Harris and Biden, because it's Trump and JD Vance's turn. Let them do what they put out to do. They have all their things laid out. I'm sure there's going to
That,
be, things that
that's
they do,
where
and that's it.
but that's I'm gonna be honest. That's what I'm scared about is the
What?
JD Vance thing. I don't like JD Vance at all. I don't feel like
Well,
he.
hey, I mean, I didn't, I mean, that's just how you feel, we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I think the whole social media thing is insane, but I'm happy as a Republican. I don't think I've been this happy since the Patriots won their last Super Bowl. I mean, I feel like it's a positive change. They had their turn, we have our turn. And I think, Trump can bring us back. And we saw what he did in 2016 to 2020. So I'm excited. But yeah, I mean, I think that really does it for us. I think we had a really good debate about politics. I appreciate you, sticking that out, because a lot of people, Andrew, a lot of people can't handle it. but no, we hit on some good topics. We did the NFL with the MVP conversation in the NFL. Your Commanders, how hot they are. The OSU debate. Does OSU deserve to be won? We talked about a little bit the NBA with Joel Embiid. Is DeMar DeRozan a Hall of Famer? We talked about the Chiefs, and they're 8-0 right now. Can they be 17-0? We talked about some Taylor Swift stuff in the NFL and how that is going. But yeah, I mean, I think we hit on really everything. So guys, as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast, Apple Podcast, the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast, Spotify, the Inquisitive Mamba. We're at 968 subscribers. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for Andrew Bing for coming on the podcast. He is a Howard student. He will be coming on the podcast a lot more, as we will be bringing him on to share his takes, his opinions, his controversial stuff. And like I said, guys, as always, keep rolling, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.